This is the best of Austin's morning news with Mark, Ed, and Sergeant Sam.
Despite noble efforts by many people and a number of organizations, the use of the N-word is more prevalent today than ever, according to this morning's Washington Post. That effort to stop people from using the N-word is something fit for burial as a failure. But now the Washington Post is trying to figure out, where do we go from here? Now that we're in a society where that N-word is used 500,000 times every day on Twitter. 500,000 times. They say, to put that into perspective, that's more than the word bro or dude on Twitter. Far more than those words appear. And so they're now asking, should we just completely give up on convincing people not to use that word? Are there times when it's appropriate, etc.? In other words, where do we go from here? 512-836-0590 for you to join us. You can also text us at 29217. Start with the word news, followed by your comments.
It will never be eliminated, in my opinion, unless black Americans stop using that term as a term of endearment. It happens every day. It happens in places I go to with my black friends who call each other that. Here comes my blank. Here comes this.
Well,
it will never, ever stop.
Here's a 34-year-old native of Washington, D.C., who's quoted in this story. He says, look, I'm an addict to using that word. It's a regular part of my vernacular. I use it every day. He's a comedian and an actor, and he says there's really nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to stop.
Well, it's wrong because in the community you use it, nothing happens. If someone that is not black uses it, all heck breaks loose, and well, it should.
Yeah, as in the NFL, this story says several players have been penalized this year for using the N-word during a game. And they point out as one of the examples of how society is trying to stop people from using this word.
Well, you go all the way through the spectrum. Curse words, taking the Lord's name in vain, can be just as offensive. And are you ever going to stop that? When you talk about inappropriate language, sexual connotations and inappropriate language that's used on Twitter and Facebook and places like that, and the F-bomb being dropped everywhere. What are you talking about? This is just part of the vernacular of the way a lot of different people speak.
Keith is calling from Cedar Park, wants to talk about the N-word. Hello, Keith. You're on KLBJ. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, gentlemen. I'd like to start out by saying happy 239th birthday to the United States Marine Corps.
Yes.
I remember years ago, and I think you alluded to it, Mark, where there was a symbolic burial of the N-word, and for some reason that corpse just keeps popping up, and I don't think they're really burying it properly. Of course, people in the black community bear a lot of responsibility for it, because it's funny how things can be both a term of endearment as well as a racial slur. And it just all depends on the context in which it's used. But I'm not letting Hollywood off the hook either, because Hollywood, I can remember, this is just an example. If you remember a few years back, Denzel Washington played a part where he was a dirty cop. Training Day, I think it was called.
Yeah, it was.
And I lost count at 157,000 times, and it was part of his script. He was not ad-libbing that, and Hollywood did that intentionally. And
they did that to Django Unchained too. It was more than 100. That one.
Exactly. And the thing is, of course, if you ask Hollywood, they'll take license for authenticity, and that's just a bunch of crap, because they perpetuate it by that way, and the rappers do it, and so. You just, at that rate, you just never going to bury it that way. And that's just the way it is. It's a vestige of our past, and it's just something that, I don't personally think I'll ever see it. I'm certain of it. It'll go away.
Do you use it, Keith?
No, I don't. My father forbid it. I did one time when I was a little boy. I called that my older brother. I got mad at him, and my daddy went off. I don't even remember how old I was. I probably was 7 or 8 years old. And he went smooth off on me, and that was the end of it.
You got the message, didn't you, Keith?
I got the message. My dad grew up in Jasper, Texas. He told me, do not ever again do that.
Keith, have a good one, sir. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot.
Tony is calling from San Marcos to talk about the N-word. Hello, Tony. Welcome. You're on KLBJ Radio.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
You.
Good morning, Tony.
Hey, how y'all doing? Look, I just wanted to call and say that, the N-word, the reason why most of us black guys still say it is because it's the way we say it. And people don't understand there's two N-words, actually. One is a casual one, and one is pretty much a racist one. And, it depends on how you spell it and how you say it. Now, is it okay to say it depending on who you are? Probably not, depending on how you're saying it and whether you have upset a person when you're saying it. I don't think black people per se care if a white guy say it. It's just probably not a good idea to be picking a fight with that person at that time. And that's basically fact.
Do you have any white friends who use that word when they greet you?
Oh, no, of course not. In fact, I heard you guys talking about rednecks and, how they're, kind of white supremacists. No, I don't think so. My best friend is considers himself as a redneck, the nicest person. He's like a brother to me. Of course, they wouldn't say it out of respect for me, but, if they did say it, I'd probably, depending on how they said it, I probably wouldn't say one word to them. And it's not me being ignorant. That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is ignorant that way anyway. And most of us black people, the reason why we don't trip about it, and I'm saying most, not all, we don't trip about that word that much is because we let it go as being a word of ignorance anyway. We never thought, we don't continue to think of it as downing a black person until, some idiot comes and say the racist term towards us while trying to pick a fight with us.
That's the one that ends in ER is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Tony, thanks. Have a good one, sir.
Have a nice day.
You too. Appreciate it. 512-836-0590. Tyrone at ABIA. How are you this morning, Tyrone?
Good morning. I'm good. As usual, I'm always happy to turn the radio on and hear you guys. It's like a breath of fresh air.
Thank you, sir. Good to hear that. Thank you.
But I drive yellow cab, and I want to share an experience that I had that would give you an example of how, and like most of the callers are saying this morning, it's all in how you use it. Because you hear the expression, it's not what you do, but how you do it. Now, I had this guy that in my cab, and I had taken him because his friend put in the cabs. He was pretty, messed up, drunk. But there still was no excuse at the end when he got ready to pay me. I had locked the door, and the door turned out to be locked, and he was trying to get out, and he hadn't paid me. So because the door was locked, he used the expression. It really didn't hit me as hard as when I pulled off. And I tell you, I had been hearing, of course, I'm a black man, and I had never experienced that like that. But I would tell you, once it hit me the way it hit me, I really wanted to turn that cab around, and I felt like fighting somebody.
Uh-huh.
And it was amazing to me how I felt, so angry, so violated for him to just come right out and say just like a nigger. Now, on the other hand, I was in New Orleans for the Saints game when we went to the Super Bowl. And I got on the elevator, and it was full of white people. And I told him, I said, I got to tell y'all something. I said, don't tell nobody. I said, Graham, number 80, that's my nigga. Now, they broke out laughing, and Graham, my nigga. And now, I really believe, so my point is, it's all like some of the guys, I really believe that's most black people, and we do it with each other. My nigga, boom, boom, boom. So it's all how you use it. I don't think it should be, honest with you, a word that have to be labeled as just this bad thing. It's just all in how you use it. So,
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I disagree.
I can't use it.
I
you
cannot
don't think
agree with
anybody
that.
should be using
no,
it, right?
I can't agree with that.
If you're going to ban it from one, ban it from all.
All right.
I cannot agree with that.
Tyrone, thank you. Good to hear from you, sir.